Warning: the following broadcast features thoughts, ideas, and opinions you might find offensive. If you're easily angered, insulted, hurt, provoked, outraged, or annoyed, the following may offend you. The views expressed in this show are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of YouTube or Google. So please, don't flag this video. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome.
You know the drill. Do we sound okay? Can you see us? Welcome. Can you see the extra chair?
I just realized.
Host guest.
So awkward. I don't know what to do with it. I'm sorry. I have a small house. Extra chair. Okay.
Now we're all just going to be looking at the chair.
I didn't realize until just that moment.
That's funny. Welcome, guys.
Hey.
Mike, Marielle. We got a horrible show. Everyone's horror bestie. What's up? Hey, Glenn. Hi.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Looks and sounds good. Awesome. Okay. That means we can proceed without us getting nervous that anything is off. Cool. We need the reassurance. Welcome to our fourth, it's our fourth anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
This year is 4 years of us doing it. I don't know. This is weird. It's our fourth birthday.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the, yeah.
Yeah.
We've done it for, okay. Yeah, now you're confusing me.
Sorry.
We have so many questions about our how this started that we'll get to later on the show.
Oh, yeah.
That we should have made it a quiz and then just ask them if we didn't know things so that they have to let us know. That's what we
already
should have done.
Kicking it off. It's going to be a great Q&A at the end of the stream because we won't know the answer to anything.
Hey, Des. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Des.
For your nightmare fuel.
Thank you for your nightmare fuel. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, so we will do a little Q&A at the end if you guys want to ask any questions. That's a great question, Marielle. Why would you make me watch these movies?
Man, I don't know. Mine. So I guess if you don't know, Vicky chose The Burning Moon for me, and I chose The Special, which was without any question because I've been trying to figure out how to like somehow bring up The Special in any video content, and I can't figure out how I would make it work. So I was very happy to do this. And I think that these are very uneven picks. Vicky probably does not agree. One I enjoy much more than the other. I wonder if anyone else.
In my defense, it took a long time to find a movie that was A, disturbing, and B, that Emma hadn't seen already. So as soon as I got confirmation that you hadn't seen something, I was like, cool, I don't need to look anymore. We're doing that one. I hadn't seen this movie either. So
yeah, it was a good one. It's a good one. I'm excited to get Vicky's thoughts on it. We haven't really spoken about it, so I'm excited.
I guess we already have confirmation that some of you guys have seen this, but spoiler warning, if you haven't and you want to, I'm not advocating that anybody don't watch most movies, but you know, if you decided not to watch these, I probably wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, I mean, there is kind of a reveal in The Special, but other than that, I think these ones are fine to be spoiled. To be honest, I would probably say, yeah, nice demo.
A whole lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much, DC Carter, for your nightmare fuel. I'm saying the right one because I'm on the other channel.
Well,
nightmare fuel. I understand that one now. It feels right.
That's like you get it right on this channel, and then as soon as we're on your channel, you're trying to say nightmare fuel again.
So bad.
It's confusing, guys. It's confusing.
It is.
Des is never watching. Spoil away. Will do.
Yeah, I'll save you some time.
Will do.
Okay, I guess should we just first say there's spoiler alert and then also trigger warning, lots of disturbing content in both of these films.
Yeah.
Burning Moon has a lot of just blood, guts, gore,
Everything.
Yeah, all of that stuff, and the special is sexual content. I don't know what to call that.
Sexual content is probably
Yeah. That's probably being too vague, to be honest. But yeah, you know what I mean.
We also have our Twitter poll too.
Oh, yes. Do you want me to grab the link?
I got it.
Okay, cool. Thanks. We have a little poll, and if you want to give your thoughts on either there, you can as well. We'll talk about that at the end.
All right. As usual. Do you have a preference which one you want to start
No,
with?
I don't. We'll leave it up to the chat if you want to throw in some emojis. Burning Moon's easy. You can do a moon or a fire. Special, I'm sure there's a box emoji.
Yeah, a box.
That's just going to be it, I guess. Hey, Amara. Yeah, that's going to be it.
Saw Special at a fest, not knowing anything.
Oh, wow, at a fest. Who said that? Oh, wow. I didn't know you saw it at a film festival, Robert. That's crazy. Looks like we got a few boxes. Okay, yeah, I think we got to go box. Yeah.
Box. Okay.
A couple of moons.
I think the boxes have it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, eggplant emoji would have been good for that one too. Nice one, Mariel. Okay, so the special.
Yay, Vicky! I dared you. I dare you.
You did. What a special movie it was. So this movie follows Jerry, who goes to I don't really know what to call it. I don't like. It's
a brothel.
A brothel? Okay. Is that I don't know the terminologies. I don't know if that's correct. Close enough. Go to a brothel because he suspects his wife is cheating on him. So his best friend is like, you got to cheat on her back. So they go to this brothel and Jerry's going to get the special. And you're only supposed to do it one time. And of course, Jerry gets addicted so much so that he goes and steals the special, which I guess I'll just go ahead and at least say it's a box.
A box
with a hole in it that, well, you understand what Jerry's got to do, right? And it's like the best thing ever. And Jerry gets addicted and it ruins his life. That's the movie.
Yeah. And so much so he's so addicted. I mean, there's some good side plots going on. His wife, I'm really advocating for this film. But also he gets so addicted. I'll go into the spoiler. So he gets so addicted that it like consumes his life. You know, everything's fucking falling apart. He starts killing people for no reason. We'll get into that for no good reason. And he wants to pry it open and find out what's inside. What's inside is this like goo. It's like this big ball of goo. So and then so he's like, ugh, and then you realize, I was going to go into detail with the goo, but let's not. And then he starts like getting rash and getting like signs. I mean, should I just go into this now? Should we just go into my notes, because I'm like literally saying what my notes are going to say anyway.
Dive in.
We'll dive right. Is that you diving in, Vicky?
Dive in.
Okay. I'll just dive into my first part of the notes because we're really touching on it. So for me, the film is a way of describing addiction, especially like a lot of people. I mean, it's kind of all addiction is taboo, unfortunately. But talking about sex addiction, which doesn't really get as much of a exposure or education, I guess. It's quite a private addiction, and, you know, tears apart people's lives. But they kind of show it in the special in a very different way, so it looks physical, because it's obviously an addiction that you can't tell people have by looking at them. And they transform this into a body horror by presenting things such as sores and scabs as a metaphor that imitates different addictions, so like drug addictions, because that's literally what he looks like when at the start, at least. It gets beyond that, but at the start at least. I thought that was really interesting, that it has to show physical negative consequences, even though he doesn't really he should be facing a little bit more consequences for his action. But everyone in this film is just kind of like off the rails anyway already. So he has a rocky relationship with his wife, who he believes is cheating on him, and so like they're already in a weird place. So it's not like he's just got this sex addiction. Well, I also don't think I could be wrong. I don't really know about this, just to out myself. I don't have a sex addiction. But if anyone knows about this in the comments, I'd love to hear. I don't know if you want to share a personal story. I'm taking myself into hole. But I don't know how they start technically. And I wouldn't think it would start usually so quickly. You'd think, do you know what I mean? Maybe it could, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Because there is something that really sets it off really quickly. It's a very interesting way of looking at that kind of addiction, because it is more of an addiction that would come from drugs and wanting to stay high, which is like kind of what he's doing. He just like wants to stay,
right.
Wants to do that thing. But he faces other repercussions, such as getting sores around his groin area. And then, this kind of develops, and it looks very much like scabby. And hey, thanks you so much, Colleen.
Oh, thank you, Colleen. Thank you for your nightmare fuel.
Yes, a very deep metaphor. You guys are so so anyway, so it's just, I thought it was really interesting that they have to show it in such a physical way, but that it really is a film about addiction. So feeding into the end, I'm trying to think how to describe this. So his addiction like becomes him, and soon it has this very interesting question, which I'm really excited to talk to Vicky about. I'm interested to hear what Vicky's take on this is. So the addiction pretty much becomes him, and the old special, the old blob thing. Someone said it looks like a brain. I guess technically it probably is, right? Technically it is a brain.
It is.
It's a big brain though. It's kind of, it gets sick and it starts losing its goo and all that kind of stuff after coming out of the box. I don't know. There's so many different variants that could have caused that to happen. Coffee. There's so many other variants. I love that he just does not even flinch. Like the other night, I was watching this in the bath, and he came home and he just paused it and asked me something, and then played it and walked off. This is my life. For those who don't know, my partner Dean, he doesn't like horror movies or anything like that. He's like super vanilla in the movies he watches. So like it's pretty funny. God, now I don't know where to put this. So yeah. He towards the end. One second.
It's a lot, so we gotta take a second to prepare to explain what happens at the end here, because
okay, I need to get some water. One sec.
Okay, while you do that, thank you, Will, for your nightmare fuel. Thank you. These movies offend me. I've seen neither, so neither here nor there. Thank you. Offended you didn't use this occasion to finally do something like vomit horror. I don't know if I could do that.
No, I don't think so either. Okay, sorry, my bad. Where was I? The goo? Wilson, if you just showed up, get ready. So the goo starts to, disintegrate, blah, 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 turns into this black, it looks sick. And then because he is so addicted to the special, he begins to, break out, and you see his whole body changes, and it happens quite fast. And he turns into the special is the best way to put it. He gets his head ripped off, and he gets put in the box, and he becomes the goo. Tanner, I know you haven't seen it, and I'm just dying to see what you have to say. But the part I'm very interested about, and like what actually links into Does This Offend You, and that I'm really interested to hear Vicky's perspective on is do you think that he's like coherent? Do you think that he can give consent to what is about to happen to him being back in the box, back in the brothel at the end? Like, for me, it's kind of like 50-50 that maybe because he's become this like sex crazed like maniac, that maybe he wants it, but I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they give us enough like insight into his thought process too much here, because I feel like we were just watching him go crazy over this. Like, so I don't know. The ending was like weird for me because like I was like getting the whole like addiction metaphor up until that part, and I'm like, so he becomes the addiction then for maybe somebody else, and it was a bit like, okay, I don't know, because I couldn't really tell if the blob he pulls out of the box was also aware of anything, because it was like really impossible to tell, because like they don't show, like they show that it's a blob, but it's not like we saw like a face or anything in it, because like obviously they were like waiting for that reveal. So I also wanted to know that too, like did it actually like have a face and we just like weren't shown it on the camera for like that reveal of like what the special is. Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think it did have a face. Okay. But that is a good point. Because then it becomes a tale of, you can go further. I love Vicky's like, this is not, everyone's like, Vicky's like, it's not that deep, and we're all like, but then this. You know? Go further because what you've just said. Okay, so he becomes the new addiction. So was the box there? Yeah,
but like the bouncer guy makes the box.
Yeah, and he makes it at the start too. Like that's the opening credits. So you've got to wonder if it's this circle. Does that not say more about, in this case, men getting so addicted to something like that it's inferred that it's going to happen regardless of anything put into the situation, regardless of being told they can only go once, regardless of being told, like, you know, he had to kill someone to run out with that box. So that men will always do this and come back and do it again. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that what the film is actually saying? That we are not, you know, what is it called? It's like we don't really have any what is the, you know what I mean? Like fate is decided. We don't really have any choice,
like free will, predetermined that it's gonna happen. Yeah, I guess because that's what. It's not that deep, and yet I'm just going like deep into like, how does this movie work?
Yeah, amazing. It's so interesting.
Because it's like that, like, it was the blob always gonna die in the box, or is it because it came out of the box? Like, because if it is a cycle, it requires somebody to get addicted to it. So if somebody doesn't steal the box, do they then allow somebody, like they pick somebody and allow them to keep coming back for the special to the point where they get addicted, so they become the special?
Yeah, or is it coming out of the box which caused the thing to actually like die though?
Yeah. But because we don't know, because we only are seeing this one instance.
Yeah, this one occasion. It's super interesting, but there were other people that didn't become obsessed. Like, because he went once. I think, but you know, that's a good point, because it only did take him once, which is why it reminds me so much of like a drug addiction, because there's that whole like, you know, you only have to do it once. So, yeah, it's very interesting. I thought, did you not, you're like, did you, I want to know like what you thought of the film overall. Did you enjoy it at all?
No, not really, because the protagonist we're following is an asshole. So I was just waiting for him to get his comeuppance the whole time. I wasn't really like, I didn't care what happened to him, nor was I invested in it. And I feel like I kind of feel like they revealed what was in the box a little too soon, because obviously we want to know what's in the box. And then once it was revealed, I was just like, oh, okay. And then there's like still like 30 minutes of movie
Mm.
left to go. I don't know. Jerry was an asshole, so
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
I
that's
did
the
not
point.
enjoy watching him.
Usually I can't get on board when I don't like protagonists. Like, it just, but I was just so interested in like the downfall was like alluring for me.
And if it is about addiction, which I'm not saying it's not, but it doesn't really paint a sympathetic picture toward addiction, if that's the purpose, because this guy's such a dick. Or if it's more about like men in this situation, then maybe I could understand it not being as sympathetic. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I need to know more, and this information is not readily available to me. Thank you, Horror Cash, for your nightmare fuel. Thank you.
Did you want to get into some of your notes about, since we were talking about how what of a dick he is, because you've got some backup notes for this. You've got some evidence, some receipts.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can just do the receipts of why Jerry is such a dick, but I mean, right off the bat, like, he allows his friend to convince him to do this thing based on no evidence, really, that his wife is cheating on him, which we find out later in the movie didn't actually happen. So he goes through this whole thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna get back at her with this box, all on hearsay. He's a dick to his like, I guess, like the secretary or office administrator, I don't know what she is, at his place of work. Like, every time he walks past her, like, literally just and he's also an asshole to the housekeeper at like this, whatever was it, like, like the world's seediest like B&B. I don't really understand what that place was that he rented a room.
Yeah.
Hotel. Like, the only women he's nice to in the movie are the ones he perceives as fuckable, which are the ones in the brothel. Like, where he's like, I don't know, they all look pretty special to me, and that's like the only nice thing he has to say about women the entire point of the movie. Yeah. Not that they don't deserve nice things said about them, but the way he treated the other women. Also, I mean, he kills Madame Zora also, because come on, man.
Why?
Also, when his wife Lisa has a miscarriage after having like special sex.
Oh my god.
She tells him and he says, I'm sorry.
He's like, because he's in bed with his STD or whatever.
Well.
Yeah, that was such a weird
also gave off kind of like rapey vibes when they were having the special sex, because he's like, sorry, this is gonna get a little bit it's not gonna get graphic, but I mean, just a little bit of warning. Lisa asks him to like go slower, and he ignores her, and then like weirdly like pins her arms back so she like stops touching him. And I don't know, it just gave me sus vibes. I didn't like that scene. Yeah. The only other thing I have really that was on my little laundry list is against Lisa, I guess, because there's a little bit of a like homophobic comment.
Yeah, I picked that up
too. Yeah, when she goes to confront him in the like seedy hotel place or whatever. And she implies that it would be worse if Jerry were sleeping with another man instead of a woman. The direct quote was, "Is that her, the girl you're cheating on me with? At least I hope it's a girl." Like, ugh.
Yeah, just unnecessary.
Unnecessary.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. He's not the greatest character of all time. And they don't really give us enough time for us to even like him. I don't think we're meant to, really. It's just meant to show one idiot's downfall. Let's talk about the murder, since we've talked about that a little bit. The murdering. He loves a good murder. He loves a good murder for no reason. Does not assess the situation, look for any other exit strategies. So when the madame, what's her name? Did you say Zora? Is that her name? When she,
yeah, Madame Zora. I thought that was her name.
Yeah. she like goes to come into the room when he's like trying to look into the box or whatever, and then she like falls and hit her head, and then he puts his foot on her neck, and again, literally she's laying on the ground, just run out with the box. Like, I don't understand. Or he could have overpowered her. Like, obviously she was the only one there at that time. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Same with his wife. His wife sees the wait, when did she, oh yeah, no, that was a really weird death. That one was very strange. When she's like looking at the goo in the tub, and then he kills her, and then he like is stroking her whole body, and then she like comes back to life. So he comes in with the bolt cutters again. You're already having issues in your marriage. Maybe break up. Don't understand why you had to kill her and then dispose of her body.
It was the goo.
It's a no for me. 4 downfalls. Thanks, Tanner. Your nightmare fuel.
Thank you for your nightmare fuel.
And hey, Greg. Yeah. So that one still didn't make sense. And then also when his friend finally comes to his house and is like looking through and finding, running around, and he's like, oh, is that the, he knows what the special is or something. So he kind of knew what it was when he looked at it, didn't he? Am I wrong?
I think he just assumed, because I think he knew that was like the source of the problem. So I think it was just a assumption.
Oh, that's that thing. And he just kills him. Again, for no real reason, just because he's just in his way. It's not like these people are trying to prevent him. Well, I guess in a way they were trying to prevent him from being with the special, but they weren't forcibly doing it. They weren't like locking him away. Like he still could have found his, I don't know. It just like the murder was just like a lot of work. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of work to hide a body. He's just gone through he's just doing making bad decisions. And you know what? Maybe that does feed into addiction, because that's what happens, in addiction, you make bad decisions. I just couldn't get over some of those reasons were just wild to me.
Because they had to put something in there for it to, like they had to put some murder in there. It just they had to show. But like right off the bat, it just seemed already not good, because he kills Madame Zora just after, again, just doing it twice, doing the special twice, and that's it. Like it did not take long. It was like 0 to 60.
It's so weird. It's such a funny movie. I think that's all of our notes on it, though. Like, it's just so hard when you watch these kinds of films and you're like, you know what? Vicky and I, we normally pick apart films that have little aspects. We're like, oh, this could be seen as controversial. When the whole thing is like just blanketed in controversy, you're like, well, I'll submit. How about the bio of the film is my point of like, no reaching is needed. This is just a very strange film that I wanted to bring to Vicky's attention. You're welcome for the nightmares. Vicky, did you find this one offensive?
Oh. I mean, I feel like no. I feel like I never really do. I don't think it was. I'm never gonna watch it again, but I don't like. I wasn't that offended by it. There were some bits that were unnecessary, but ultimately, I was like, I just didn't have fun watching that main character. Aww. That's all.
That's okay. We all have our own things. It probably makes you a better person, if anything, to be honest. I don't think I wasn't offended. I actually liked this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Fair play to you.
I know. There's something endearing about like an independent film that has this kind of effect, I think. And I think that it's like a lot of it was made really well for how low budget it is. So what can I say? That's the second time I've seen it, and the first time I just saw it willingly. I think Ben brought it up in the comments that he made a bunch of people watch it. I think that's how I would have seen it, like just him talking about it and a bunch of people I know talking about it in the Discord. So it's the first film I thought about as soon as we said we should dare each other to watch a film. And I was like, oh my God, I have the perfect one, because it's just so out there. And it does remind me a lot of like Masters of Horror or something like that, like a very simple concept that's just like straightforward, which I like. So I'm a fan of the special, which is very weird to say. Just don't know why. I think it's funny.
That's to each their own. There's a lot of fans of this movie. It's not like you're the only person. Like, just like with the Burning Moon, there was a lot of like super
oh my god,
positive reviews for this one too. So I mean, you're not alone.
But I think you're right. You're on something obviously with the protagonist. I wonder if they switched them out and did it as like a a high budget feature. It might work really well. Like, you see that? Who would we get? Nicolas Cage?
Oh my god,
that would work. That would work. That would actually work.
I think it would work. I don't think it would quite achieve like maybe the opposite effect we were thinking, like with a high budget. I think it would just be like its own other special, way special thing if it was Nick Cage.
He would do so well in that because he's just that. I'm trying to think of anyone else in the kind of like, that would work.
Honestly, if Nick Cage was in this, 10 out of 10 would have been like so much more interested in watching.
Yeah, for sure. That's really interesting. All right, there's two types of people in the world: the people who order the special and the people who are the special. What does that mean? I don't like that. I don't like that.
Oh
no.
Okay. Shall we move on to the Burning Moon?
Yes, we should.
Okay.
We should.
How to describe this movie? So what you see, guys? So we have this drug addict teenager, right? And
we're just going from drug to drug, addiction to addiction, which is interesting. It's a thread throughout both of these films that make no sense why it's there, but it works. What is Wilson saying? Is Vicky Maven? Maven is
Maven is not my actual name.
It's Vicky. We know this.
I didn't know there was a wrestler with that name. Oops. Hopefully I'm not infringing on anything. I will answer to both names.
Sorry, I cut you off. Keep going.
It's okay. Right. Drug addict teenager. So ours is The Burning Moon is kind of, I guess, an anthology. I don't know. Do two shorts make it an anthology? Our drug addict teenager is supposed to be watching his younger sister while his parents are away. So he obviously doesn't want to do this. So he gets super high, like straight up just heroin, and goes into his sister's room and tells her these two like just terrible stories. One about a young girl who goes on a date with somebody who turns out to be an escaped patient from a mental hospital, and he murders her entire family. The other is about a priest who is a serial rapist and murderer. And the crimes get pinned on a local farmhand instead. And that one, there's so much more going on in that story. There's a whole thing with like a sequence in hell, and it's wild.
There's a lot. Thank you so much, Greg, for your nice fuel. It's very nice of you.
Thank you very much.
I have to admit one thing. Okay, let's start with this. When I started watching The Burning Moon, I did not know anything about it, and it took me a long time until I realized that this is the story that he's telling the girl. I thought it was just like a different somewhere across the other side of town. I don't know if I looked away and completely missed the title because I know the second one is called like Purity something. I've written it down, but like I didn't see the title, and I just thought, I was like, who are these new characters? I was like, is he meant to have gone to a ward and now he's out? I'm like, that did not look like the same guy. It took me so long. It took me until the second one. It has to be until the second one until I realized these are meant to be stories that he's telling them. So a lot of this film, so this is meant to be like, this is low budget German splatter, and a lot of people have a huge admiration for this, which is absolutely bizarre to me. I mean, each their own, but like this film is not made well. Of course, it's good that it pushes all the lines, it crosses all the boundaries, it isn't like afraid to go anywhere, which I think people enjoy about it. But like it's very confusing. The acting is just off. I had no idea what was happening half the time, especially in the second one, what you were talking about with the priest. Like, because at one point there's someone comes out of a grave and then starts writing 666 in blood. And I'm like, are you a zombie or are you a demon? Because like pick your battles. It was the most insane thing ever. This was a hard one to get through. It was meanwhile, by the way. You see Rob's meanwhile. I was so confused until later when they were like, and let's tell you the second story. I'm like, oh, that was the story.
Oh no.
So yeah, where do we start?
I guess you kind of already started, so I guess I can do like my one thing that I wrote.
Oh yeah, definitely go.
I figured you were probably going to make a list of stuff because you normally do. And I was like, I feel like that's the whole movie. So I'm going to let Emma have that one.
I nearly gave up halfway through, to be honest, because there were so many like bits. I was like, what
there's so much. You just retell us the whole movie when you give us the list.
Yeah.
But like Emma was saying, this is a like German like splatter film. And it's part of like, I guess like this underground movement of like horror movies from Germany, like in the 80s, early 90s, I guess. So, after the fall of the Third Reich and all that, Germany wasn't producing as many horror films because, we know why. So that's what started this underground movement, obviously, because like the movies any horror movies that were coming out weren't doing as well because they were pretty tame, they weren't pushing any boundaries. So that set off all these filmmakers to create these outlandish, wild movies that literally just had like, we're just going to throw everything at the wall and be as excess as possible, which is kind of the point of splatter movies. And the director, I don't even know if I want to attempt the director's name. I'll probably butcher it. It's Olaf Ittenbach, that's like probably the Americanized way to say it, who plays the drug addicted teenager telling the stories in the movie, is apparently a pretty influential director in this movement, and is known for his like SFX work. So all like the crazy SFX in the movie is the director also.
Cool.
There's one little cool tidbit, I guess. I had no idea about that going in. I thought it was just like a random low budget movie. And I was like, I guess that kind of explains a lot of the, I don't know if we want to call it a cult following, but it does have a lot of, obviously people who really enjoyed it.
Well, if it's based around the effects, that makes sense. It's kind of like films like Terrifier, which is the same thing. Like the director for that, he's a special effects makeup artist and stuff. Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's kind of based around what they love and their craft. So that makes sense to an extent. Yeah. Still doesn't make. I still don't understand.
The movie still doesn't make sense, but that.
I don't understand if it was going for that kind of vibe.
Right.
I wonder if. Okay, let's start off with the list of gore. I have a few lists here, guys, so you could bear with me.
Get ready.
List of gore. I'm gonna try and say this in like a YouTube friendly way. We'll see. First word: decapitated head. Decapitation. I'm sorry. Yep. Slices the mum's fingers and her throat. Cuts off the dad's arm and through his face, stabs his sister. Gary gets stabbed. Someone just in the movie, she's like, no, Gary, come help me. And he stabs it. That's why I knew his name was Gary, by the way. It's not Gary. Gary, yep, gets stabbed. Someone, can I say that? Yeah, I guess. Slits their.
Sure. You've already said everything word for word. Just go for it. It's okay.
Well, I don't know. Okay, cuts their throat in a ritual. Someone ends their own life with a gun in the mouth. Someone gets stomped to death. I think that was probably my favorite scene, to be honest. Head into the ground. And then there's the hell scene with all the bodies and guts everywhere. And at the end, I shouldn't laugh at this, but the end, it's meant to be a traumatic scene where someone is ending their life. But instead of cutting their hand, their arm, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Instead of doing that, they cut through them. So they basically cut off their hand.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's a lot for the YouTube friendly.
Oh my God, Jackie.
Well, good thing, because it's not going to be monetized.
Jackie, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jackie.
The best part, I just want to share that you wrote in your note above that. We'll reword this if and when I talk about it.
I did a little bit. I was trying to think of ways to
90% of the list was word for word. I was watching.
Oh, really? I was trying to think of like, well, I mean, can you say decapitation on YouTube?
No,
Okay, I just was trying to avoid that one word, but we've used that word before, right? Anyway, sorry, Vicky.
It's okay. Like it's okay. It's just funny.
Okay, my second list.
The stream is still going, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, we're good. Thank you to everyone. There was a trigger warning at the start of this. I'm sorry. We probably should have done it again. Okay, just have a little bit of a list of confusion, and then we'll get into the actual topics that I have for this one, just so we can paint the picture if you have not seen the film. And if you have seen the film, you may be able to answer these questions. Vicky, please jump in whenever and answer any of these questions. Okay, so these are some of the things I did not understand. Number one, there was a street fight at the start. For what reason? Just goon things, just to be like punk, I guess. Yeah, is that okay? Cool. There was a street fight.
Probably
nothing to do with anything. There's a street fight. Cool. So story one. One of my favorite parts of the whole film is the setup. So in this one, it's like that's the one where the guys escaped from the mental hospital. And she's having dinner with this random guy for a date. She doesn't know that that's the random guy. That's the guy who escaped. And she says to him, what a setup. Can you believe that 2 people died in this town? I just hope nothing happens to my family. Like, that's literally the delivery. And I'm looking at my, at the time, and I'm like, oh my God, this is 18 minutes in. Is this for real? I was so confused. Also, remember, I thought it was the first story and the second story was. I thought the bridging was the same as this, so I was very mega confused. He's escaped from a mental hospital, and I'm not sure how he's able to buy her dinner. He takes her on a date. Can we? Elaborate?
Yeah. I was about to ask, do they leave
he just on the way out just pockets the till? There's no money there. I guess he's been stealing. Anyway, it was just,
or maybe they just walk out all cash and he doesn't pay.
And he had a car as well.
He also I don't think was supposed to be obviously it's not her date because he's just escaped, and he runs over some dude in the beginning that has the same jacket on. I don't know how all of a sudden it wasn't covered in blood. I thought he ran over the actual date and then just, which doesn't make any more sense, because it's just how would he know that guy was going on a date and who with and where to pick her up?
He was so confused. But he's wearing nice clothes, and then he's the part where he orders her another Coke. That's the weirdest thing ever. They're sitting in this booth, and then she's waiter, can I have another Coke? And then they make a big deal about passing another Pepsi. I'm like, there's no way you're getting sponsored by Pepsi. Like, what the fuck is it's just it was a lot. Oh my god, I just realized he stole. Yeah, I didn't know that either. I didn't know about the clothes. I did see when he randomly ran someone over, but I was like, maybe that's another thing happening across town.
But then he clearly had time to wash the clothes because he completely annihilates this guy on the road. So obviously his clothes would be
so weird. And then another good moment in there is when he comes back and he kills her whole family. She's like upstairs, like getting ready or whatever. She comes down and she opens the door, and her whole family's like, I'm in pieces. And she's like, wait, I quoted. Did I actually quote it? Oh no, she didn't. She didn't say anything. She goes, oh my god, and then she runs to the telephone and calls the cops. There's like no moment of panic. I wrote down Pikachu face because that's like, it was really like. It was the funniest reaction to your whole family being slaughtered, but as you do. So then the guy tells her that he wants to marry her when they're like having a fight about that, and then like about her whole family dying, and then he puts her mum's eyeball in her mouth and was like, I want to marry you.
He also said grosser things like something about his love juice and stuff too. Like I almost quoted it word for word, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to copy that now.
Oh yeah, no, the fire thing. I don't know if I wrote it in here. Someone said that, but I did see that. I didn't know. I wrote in my actual notes when I was because normally I do different notes and I put it into the doc. You've just said there about the fire. You don't see. I don't think you see that happen. Him set fire to her body, but he does, and then he's like, "Look what I did." It's just so weird.
I just want to know: did he get to her house before she did and do all this, or was she upstairs the entire time and he just killed everybody in that violent way so quietly that she had no idea what was happening?
Yeah, that's exactly. Robert just said something funny. He said, maybe it's not bad acting. Maybe the brother's a shit storyteller.
That's a great point, actually, because he is telling the story.
Yeah, and he's like on acid or something. Like that's the whole thing, isn't he? Oh, not on acid.
I think it's like heroin or something.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. He injects himself and then he like looks up the moon and then the moon's on fire and then he tells these like crazy stories. So yeah.
Robert just the whole movie
seems like he should be on acid.
Is thrown into context.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's the cool part where there's like a cop in the bush and she's like, he's like pounding on her, putting eyeballs down her throat. And the cop's like, I'm a cop. And shoots him. But he goes, like, that's what he says. He goes, I'm a cop. Could you imagine, like, there's this, like, special ops, like, ready to, like, take people down? And they yell out first, I'm a cop. And then they shoot the guy. It's so fucking weird. It's so wild. I was so confused. This is about the time I started looking at the reviews and getting very confused. Yeah, so that's like my favorite part. So that seriously, my notes get smaller and smaller because I'm like everything is just absolutely wild. But I did write down for story 2. They turn, and I've already touched on this, but they turn into zombies at the end. But then satanic zombies writing 666 with blood. Zombies and Satanism don't really mix, from what I know. But this movie says otherwise. That was a very wild moment in my life. And then they're in hell and there's like stuff everywhere, and then there's all of a sudden on an operating table. And it's like
hell surprisingly looks like just a very seedy, like abandoned warehouse.
It's wild. It was absolutely wild. I don't even know.
That story just goes for like so many turns. Like it's about the priest, and then it's about the farmhand who gets framed, and then somebody kills the farmhand, and that guy is the one who goes to hell for killing the farmhand because the farmhand was innocent.
I was so confused because I was like, is this not about a priest? And then I'm like, did we
Not
go to another
really.
story? And I just don't know. I didn't know if we were in like a third story, and I just had missed it again because I was so confused what was happening. Yeah, it was wild. Okay, let's pull some stuff out. So controversial topics that we kind of haven't touched on.
Aside from the stuff we already talked about.
Yeah, there is some other stuff. So the storyteller experiences domestic violence. We see that again. Just, they really kind of sum it up to try and explain why he's the one. I don't know, context, or just to make something more shocking. At the start of the film, he goes home and he has a fight with both his parents. He like hits his mom, and then his dad hits him, and it's just like this weird. I'm like, oh, okay, we're just throwing some domestic violence in there to just. I don't even like. What does that add to anything? I would like to know.
And then they still leave him alone with the little girl. Like he.
Yeah. The whole thing is wacko. So we got that. A woman is sexually assaulted, or the full. I don't know. I'm censoring myself now. A woman is raped, which happens at the start of the pre-story, where she's like riding her bike home. So that's that was just something extra added to there. But probably the most actual controversial topic would be the portrayal of the mental hospital, which is very it's just very stereotypical.
Like the noises they added in of like the patients that as these doctors are walking through the hospital.
Yeah, they're explaining that talking about the guy, because then we're going to see him escape. And there's people like, drooling and all that stuff in the background and like walking around. And they also talk really like there's like a line thrown in there about experimental work on patients and stuff. And it's just
they're having like a really bizarre conversation about how like the one doctor like started giving this guy who's going to be the escaped guy therapy sessions, and then the other doctor is just so like as if it's like such an outlandish concept that you give somebody that needs therapy, and he's like, oh my god, like why would you do that? And like that's like the whole reason why this guy's not gotten any better and is escaping the hospital, because you gave him therapy. It was such a weird conversation.
And they also like, it's so weird that they do that to his character and do that to the whole, I don't know, the whole start of that, because then they also give him these flashbacks which explain like that he saw is it his dad doing it to his mom or something? I can't remember. Someone.
Or no, I think it was his grandpa, because I distinctly remember the captions being like, "Grandpa, no!" while he's.
It reminds me of like that Santa movie we've watched a couple of times, I swear. The Santa one,
Deadly Night.
That one, yeah. It was the same kind of concept, really. The circle of abuse. So. Yeah, that was a lot. Then I thought, okay, maybe there's like possible some propaganda in here. Obviously, this is made for like the lowest of low, no offense to us people. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. But I thought this is a stretch, propaganda for like DARE. Like it could be like, don't do drugs, you'll inject yourself and then you'll stab your sister and think of really messed up things. Because then if you think about that, both of the films do actually tee up, because the special, they're both about addiction. They both the whole films are caused by being addicted to something, to a substance.
That is true. That is technically factual.
Yeah, absolutely wild. And I guess my last point on this whole thing is the reviews. The reviews for this film are really good compared to what it's actually like. I've seen a lot shittier film. A lot better films, I should say. A lot better films that have really, really shitty responses. Especially like just think about new horror movies that just come out that people are, tearing down, and then you see this and people are like, this is the most amazing, like literally 9s and 10s. If you look on Letterboxd and IMDb, people love this film. And in my mind, I was like, I literally thought I watched the wrong film for a long time. I was like, well, it's a German film, so there's only going to be one German film like from the same year called the same name. Like I thought it was pretty particular. I really did think maybe I watched. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I felt. Yeah, well, we've established, thank God. Could you imagine if I watched that by mistake? Oh,
I'm just sitting
man.
here the whole time like, what in the fuck is she talking about?
So, did you find this film offensive, Vicky?
I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time I tried to watch it, I fell asleep halfway through the first story and I had to go back and rewatch at least the beginning bit of it again because
I don't blame you.
yeah, but I just couldn't believe I fell asleep during it because it was just like so wild and so many weird things happening that I was like, yeah, completely just fell asleep. I guess no. I feel like there's too much going on for me to like be offended. You know what I mean? Like there's like literally I could just throw something to the wall and I might be offended at something, but it's just so much that I was more like baffled than offended.
Yeah, I'd say that too. I was more confused than anything. I was so confused. I was so confused. I can't tell you. I was like, it's so hard as well. When you watch a movie and if you have to talk about it for something and you're like, I actually don't understand what's happening. I feel so dumb. But yeah, thank God it
I'm
was.
just glad we were on the same page with our notes because I felt so bad. I was like, oh, I got like nothing.
Yeah. Well, we ended up talking about it for a long time, so don't worry. We did it. Should we head over to the poll first?
Oh, yeah.
I'll go check it out. Where is my profile? I never know how to navigate Twitter. I'm so bad. Have to like find a tweet I've done and then click on it to bring up my profile. Oh my God, I'm so lame. Okay. So I asked on Twitter, settle a bet for us. Vicky and I both betted each other to watch these films. Which one was harder to watch? Bonus points for comments. I think we got one comment. I think it's from Megan as well. So with 81%, which is huge, the hardest film to watch is The Burning Moon. I knew it.
It's the most chaotic.
Yeah, it was really hard to keep
At least the special made sense on some sort of plane.
Special's a simple storyline, thank God. It has one story as well, which is good. So that's got 18%. And our lovely friend Megan said, I vote for The Burning Moon because it's so terribly done. I agree. It was so badly done. It was so hard to understand. And yeah, it was a lot.
All right.
Okay, we have some questions. Yeah. If you guys want to throw out any questions down in the chat below, let us know. We have a couple to start off with. If you want to, Vicky, if you got one in mind.
Do you want me to start off with the two that we don't know the answer to, and maybe?
Yeah, sure. We can. If anyone knows, they can let us know.
This is low-key a little embarrassing that we don't know the answer to these two questions, and I feel like it's probably the most basic questions that we could get. So we both just put a little thing on our Instagram stories to get some questions beforehand. So one of the questions we got was, how did you two first meet? Which I thought was a super cute question that I wish I had an answer to.
I don't know. I don't know whether we thought maybe it could be a Gory Bee stream, like back in the day when we do them, but I really don't know, which is so sad.
I just feel like I've known you for so long, Emma.
I know. But it's so, like, how sad is that? Because it's not like I don't remember when I first meet people.
Right.
It's really weird that we don't. It's just like I've always known you. Like, it's so creepy. I feel like that, though. Like, I could have known you for, like, 10 years or, yeah. It's weird.
It's weird. We also don't know the answer to which of the this is going on the internet forever. Which of the two of us came up with the idea for Does This Offend You?
I do think it was a conversation. I think we might even be able to go back on Twitter and find it. I think, but I can't lock it in. I think that we had a conversation. I think you might be right. Vicky did say before when we brought these up that it could have been during a stream. So if anyone was
Yeah.
at a stream when we mentioned it, I think that maybe we did mention it in a stream. We took the conversation offline, or I mean, still online, but off,
Right.
not in the public. And
Offline.
we kind of just both built on it together.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, we should do this. Oh, and then we can do this. Oh, and we can do this, and we call it this. Like, I don't remember who said what, but I think that it was definitely a collaborative idea.
Yeah.
And I remember when because we have that the document that we got, we like did a whole thing about like who it was for, what we had to do we had a checklist. Remember when we had a checklist? Like, we got to do the poll, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do promos. Yeah. So, oh, there we go. I knew someone would know.
Oh,
Ben. I told you Ben would know. Vicky's like, you can't just ask people. I'm like, trust me, they'll know. You guys were matched. Like, we're on a dating site, we were matched. I love that. We'll match on the creepy channel crawl, and you guys talked about it. So we must have done a creepy channel crawl thing together. I really felt like I knew you before that, though. Maybe I did know you, but we didn't like have a stream, like go on a stream together. We'll have to find that moment. We can see if we can find it. If we can find that moment, that would be so good. If we do find it, we'll clip it up and we'll use it in the next one. Please remind me, someone, if I forget, but we'll try and play it because that would be so cute. That makes sense.
Whose stream it was, though, because if it was on the creepy channel crawl, I don't know if it was one of ours.
I think it would have been yours.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't think I've been on the creepy channel crawl. I don't think I've had my own spot. Unless we were both on someone else's. We could have both been on Gory Bees.
That also, like that, yeah. If that's the case, obviously we'll have to ask permission if we can share. But we'll find. Like, imagine if it was like on my channel or something, and I completely just didn't remember doing that.
Oh my God, Vicky! How many videos do we put out a year?
I
Great.
I feel like we're such good friends. I feel like I should remember.
I know. Oh, look, Ben knows. It was first crawl. It was just you two. It was only you two.
It was just us?
Okay. So it must be on yours then, because I don't think I had a spot on the crawl, because the crawl at that time was, but I think that we were both, because the crawl started because we were trying to get watch time up on people's, and I didn't need the watch time. I don't know if I thought your channel didn't either, but we'll see. But I don't think that I was on a bunch of people's, but I didn't have my own. Vicky's like trying to investigate now.
Literally me searching it right now.
Imagine if it's like us actually meeting. We're like, hi, my name's Emma. So fun. I hope it is.
We had, according to this, we had Late Horror Show on with us too. It was on my channel, which is a little embarrassing.
There you go. I told you. I knew it wasn't going to be on mine.
But it wasn't just the two of us, so we did have somebody else with us.
Had Dino.
Yeah, we had Dino with us.
Interesting. There you go.
Okay.
See, I told you. Vicky's like, we can't just ask people about it. I'm like, no, we can. Like, they'll know. Trust me, they'll know. Hats off to you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben, for watching it recently randomly.
Oh, is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay. Well, thank you, Ben. I obviously very much appreciate you, and very much appreciate you remembering that when we didn't. That's great. Okay, I have a couple of questions that I think are good. One is from Tanner. I'm not sure if he's still in here. Horrible show. Oh, someone said they found it. I guess you found it too. Yeah, horrible show. Who said not an original question, but which ones do offend you both? So what films, I guess. Have there been any films? Maybe we should just look at the Does This Offend You list and choose if there has been any. I can't remember which one.
Definitely the one we did where we picked like our most hated movies, I think. I don't know. Yeah, because we did was it Girl in the Photograph and Muck?
Muck. Yeah. I know for me, Red Christmas.
Yo, Red Christmas. Legendary stream.
Was it? Oh my God, it was so bad.
It was so good.
So bad. I was so mad. Another one at 15, which was true crime. We did Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, and The Haunting of Sharon Tate. I'm sure the Sharon Tate would have offended us for sure.
Yes.
And we were both pretty much offended. I think, I don't know if we would have said it, but I can speak for us both now. I think we were both offended by the Cannibal Holocaust, Green Inferno. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
not Green Inferno, but Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah.
the animal stuff, absolutely.
Oh, and Vicky does not like Contracted.
Oh yeah, I was.
F22. You hate that one. I
Yeah, I
am
did
still
not like
so
that
shocked
either.
that not a fan at all. But yeah, other than that, I think that we're pretty good. And we watched The Farm and Pelts. I can hardly remember Pelts, but I remember that was
Oh
like
yeah, I can probably say I was pretty offended by the farm because I remember I had watched that one before and I was not a fan for sure.
I'm
I
trying
think
to
that
see if
might,
there's any other ones.
yeah.
But I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I had to go by the list, Tanner, because like if you ask us what films we're offended by, that's like I don't even know how to start figuring that out. DC Carter, friend of the show, said, what is a film you will never watch again?
Out of the
Cannibal
ones
Holocaust?
that obviously out of the ones that we've
Well, I mean any film, I guess, but is there any film that you I mean for me, oh no, you know what? I can't say that because even if I want to say Salo, I will probably watch it again. I probably won't watch Compliance again. People have said that we should do that for an episode. We didn't do it, did we?
I thought
I
I think
can't.
you suggested it once too, or you mentioned it, but I don't think
Someone
we
I
ever.
think probably did. I don't want to. It makes me feel so sad. I want to cry.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that one. I hate that one so much.
Then we won't do
It's a
that
good
one.
film. It's a really, really, really good film, but and down. Love and down. But I just can't. Like it's just so
There's a lot of ones that we've already pretty much like decided we're not going to do an episode on because it's just gonna make us sad.
We have been toying around with talking about The Girl Next Door and American Crime for a long time, and we've just keep putting it off because it's just like we're like, okay, what do you want to do next month? And then we're like, maybe not destroy our lives.
We want to put ourselves through that.
Yeah. Oh wow, Ben said that A Farm is still your most watched review. Is it really?
I have no idea why. It's still.
That's so funny. I do remember you reviewing it too. That's so funny.
No idea. Oh yeah. Yes, the Dario Argento pelts. Somebody asked. Yeah. Masters of Horror little thing.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, I guess that's the good questions I got that I know from people who are actually here. I do see that Horrible Shows asked another question. When it offends you, did you still enjoy the movies or was it a deal breaker? Which depends on the film. Red Christmas, absolutely not. Any day of the week.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm like, there's been some people who reviewed it positively that are my friends online, and I'm like still sad about it.
Yeah, I think it depends on the movie too, because like Cannibal Holocaust, like the animal stuff definitely offended me, and I hadn't seen the movie like up until that point. Like that was the first time I watched it, and I know it's like it's talked about all the time, you know, this influential horror movie. I didn't feel any like better of a horror fan. I know that's not a real thing, but I didn't feel like I gained anything by watching that. So it depends on the movie. For sure.
Yeah,
that's a really good question, though.
Yeah, I wonder when you do watch. When is a film that is like super, super disturbing, like beneficial? I wonder.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But you know what I mean? Like if it's a really because like being like something being disturbing and like being offensive are two different things.
Oh, for sure.
And if it's like a really well-made movie, even if it's super disturbing, like I thought like The Lodge was so disturbing, but I thought it was a really great film, and I weirdly enjoy watching it. Like I still think it's a good movie to watch, even though it's
so good.
tough. Yeah. So like I feel like the subject matter probably plays the biggest part in that, whether it's like a deal breaker or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it does take a lot for Vicky and I to say on here when we're talking about these films that we are disturbed. So usually it is a deal breaker for when we talk about them on here for sure. I think usually like there's not really a film that we're like, oh, that was that did offend me, but I still like it. Like
right,
we're a little bit more. Yeah, we can be gray area for sure, but if it does like fully offend us, we're probably not for it. I don't like anything that's going to make me angry anyway. Like that's not why I watch films. I know a lot of people watch them to like rage about them and like have like these rants, but that's not what I'm looking for. That's not an enjoyable experience for me. I hate doing that. And usually if I feel that negatively about stuff, I sometimes don't review it because I feel like it's not fun for me, for you. It's not beneficial. I know people love watching rants, but it's not
clearly because that's what The Farm was, and everyone's still watching.
Exactly. I get it every once in a while. I think it's fine, but I just, you know what I mean? Like that's just, it's not something I seek out. If I know I'm not going to like a film, I just don't watch it. It's like Resident Evil or whatever. Like I'm not really into those films. So I'm not going to like go watch. Is that the new one, the Raccoon City? I'm not going to watch that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Have you, yeah, that's a good one. That was someone's going to say. Have you ever decided to stop watching a movie and never finish it? Yes. Have you, Vicky? Just in general?
I don't know if I can remember like every single time that's happened. There was one, hold on, I'm probably gonna have to pull up my letterbox to get the exact title that I tried to watch for a movie challenge, and I stopped maybe about like 30 minutes in and was like, never gonna finish this. I'll get the name in just a second.
I'll say mine. Mine is Headless. Oh, actually, I did a whole video about movies that I didn't finish. Headless, Pinocchio 651 or whatever the fuck it is, that Japanese film about the sex robot that was Pinocchio. Don't even, Vicky. Don't even.
Okay,
it's not, especially if you don't like drool, don't watch it.
Okay.
It's absolutely disgusting. But yeah, Headless is the one I always think about, which is like a spin-off of Found. And it's just depravity for the sake of depravity. Yeah, I'm not into those kinds of things. But interesting enough, I've stopped watching a lot of TV shows recently that aren't disturbing at all just because I just don't like them. And I'm not going to spend 10 hours like watching a season. That just happened with me. Yeah, it happened to me with a lot of stuff. Happened with the Anna Delvey series. I just couldn't get I think I watched up to episode 6, but I was like, I know how this ends and I'm not getting anything out of it. What is it called? The morning show thingy with someone will know, Reese Witherspoon and all that. Didn't watch season 2.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of it.
Yeah. Is it called Morning Glory? Am I wrong? It's definitely not called Morning Glory. I was like, why do I think it's called that?
I don't know. I don't want to Google it.
Someone's gonna correct me in the chat. But that, and yeah, recently Killing Eve, like, and it's so interesting because you're like, oh, what happened to that season? Oh, I stopped watching freaking Stranger Things at the last episode of season 3 and never finished it. So yes, for different reasons. Sorry, what was yours, Vicky?
Yeah, just the most. I honestly really can't remember any other times beyond this one. I was trying to watch Behind the Sightings for a movie challenge, which is like supposed to be like a found footage horror movie about people investigating. Remember like the like creepy clown thing that like took over the internet like 5 years ago? But the movie came out in 2021, so it was already like 5 years.
What was the movie called?
Behind the Sightings.
That's not Mr. Wrinkles, is it? That's a different thing.
No, different.
Okay.
I enjoyed the Wrinkles one. But no, I just stopped. And that was like, not because it like offended me though, just because I thought it was really stupid. Like,
I don't know if I watched that.
Like all the dialogue was obviously like improv, but like you could tell in like a bad way. Not like like it was just really awkward and bad, and somebody made like a Clown Lives Matter joke, and I was like, yeah, this is stupid, and then I turned it off and didn't watch it again.
Behind the Sightings. I remember hearing when it was coming out, but it was
just like behind. Like, why didn't that movie? Why didn't they get that movie made like closer to that trend? Like it was just so it just felt dated.
I see your review straight away, half a star. Actually, really funny. When that was all happening with those clowns, I worked in the news here, and we like messaged local clowns trying to get them to talk about it. And they were like, "Pay us $5,000," and we're like, "Okay, no, we want to do that segment then." Fuck you. It's so funny. That whole
Amazing.
clown thing was wild, hey?
It was.
Absolutely wild.
I
Absolutely
loved
wild.
all the videos that were obviously so, no offense to the people making them, but obviously so fake. But it was entertaining to.
I wonder how different it would have been if TikTok was like a big thing in America at that time. It would have been such a different experience.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm.
But some good came out, like that Wrinkles, the one that you mentioned. I really enjoyed that one. That was a good one. Did you message Slops?
Well, I didn't know slots then. Thank God, because I probably would have offended them. Slops is good.
Slops.
Okay.
Oh, have you seen their TikTok? Oh no, I know you've
Yes.
seen their TikTok because I've seen you comment.
Yes. I
Because
always comment.
they're fantastic.
I love slots so much.
And I love all the positivity. Like I just scroll through the comments and smile because I'm like, this is just so wholesome. He's doing his,
Yeah.
or I'm sorry, their thing.
Mm.
So good.
So good. All
So
clowns pay us. Yeah. Which is, it's justifiable, but these
Yeah.
weren't actual proper clowns, those ones who were asking for the money. They were just, I wish I could throw out the suburbs. I mean, Rob's in here, he'll know. It's just people from Armadale who were just, which is just a rough place. I'll just say that.
Okay,
If that makes
gotcha. Robert's gonna chime in like, oh, I get it.
He'll understand. It's kind of like saying, oh yeah, I was going to say people from Florida to you.
I would understand and probably agree.
Is there a rough part of Florida? We're going, sorry, off track, but is there a rough?
Yeah, the whole state.
Is there like a rough part though?
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, there'd be a couple rough places.
I just wondered that.
It's kind of a big state, so it depends on like if you're,
It's a weird shape, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of big. So there's a couple different places, yeah, that I would definitely not recommend people go. But
the whole state. All right. I don't know if we have any other questions.
Yeah, I don't know if we wanted to answer all of them. Those were probably the best ones.
Yeah.
That was me
Thanks
sounding.
for hanging
Those were
around,
probably like the ones that would start like a discussion the best. Sorry.
Yeah.
Say that.
Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of a weird episode, but we loved it and we love hanging out with you all. And thank you so much for, I guess, 3 years or how many years it's been.
I don't know. We're going into our 4th year now. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, thank you so much. And next month we will be skipping because I'll be away, so we'll be back the following month. So sorry about that.
No, we're not going to be sorry about that. But we have a ton. I know a few of you were saying, when we were talking about past episodes, we have a whole playlist. It's on my channel for all the episodes. If you want to watch any past ones, maybe watch one you missed next month, and then it won't feel like we're skipping over a month. So that's all there. All of Emma's links are in the description, all the good stuff, YouTube, Patreon, all that shit. And just make sure you're following us somewhere on there, because when we announce when the next Does This Offend You will be and what the movies are, that's how you're going to be able to know. So
yeah. we'll let you all know on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you for so many wonderful years of Does This Offend You. We'll keep going until we're sick of each other.
We just got the best present. No technical glitches, errors. I think that might be a first.
I'm knocking on wood for you. Just in case. I'm going to knock on some wood just in case. All right. So we'll see you guys in June together, and then separately, obviously, like on our other stuff. All right. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you soon. Bye.